You say you want change, you say you want success. But every damn day you're stuck in the same place. So I'll ask you right now, what's stopping you? Most people live their entire lives chained by excuses, fear, and comfort. They talk about dreams, but they never move. Why? Because something in their mind, in their heart, or in their habits is stopping them. Today we're going to rip that apart. We're going to find out exactly what's holding you back and destroy it. No more hiding. No more waiting. This is war against your own limits. You wake up in the morning and the very first thing you do is hit the snooze button. You already lost the fight before you even opened your eyes. That snooze button is an excuse disguised as comfort. You tell yourself you're tired. You'll start tomorrow. You need rest. You'll get serious later. But let me tell you something. Tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is an excuse that keeps you chained exactly where you are. Every excuse you make is a chain. A heavy chain that drags you down, locks you up, and convinces you that the cage you're sitting in is home. You want success, you want greatness, you talk about changing your life. But when it's time to act, you fold. You choose comfort, you choose excuses, you choose weakness. And then you sit there wondering why nothing is changing. Look at your life right now. Every area where you're stuck, where you're frustrated, where you're losing, it's because you've been feeding yourself excuses. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'll start when I feel ready. It's too hard. I've been through too much. I don't care what the excuse is. It's all the same damn thing. It's your prison. Excuses are sneaky. They feel harmless at the moment. You tell yourself, I'll just skip today. It's not a big deal. But that small excuse grows. It spreads like a virus in your mind. Before you know it, you're infected. You become the person who's always got a reason why they can't win. And the scary part, you start believing your own lies. You convince yourself that the chains on your life are unbreakable, that you were born to stay average, that your dreams are too far out of reach. That's the prison I'm talking about. You don't need bars to trap you. Excuses are enough. The truth is brutal. Nobody's coming to break you out. Nobody's going to show up and cut those chains for you. You're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect chance, the perfect opportunity. But guess what? It doesn't exist. Excuses will keep whispering in your ear until the day you die if you let them. They'll rob you of time, energy, and potential. And when you're lying on your deathbed, you'll look back and realize that the walls around you were never real. They were built by your own damn hands. Think about it. How many times have you said, I can't because, and filled in the blank with some weak excuse? How many times did you stop yourself from chasing the thing you wanted most because it was too risky, or too scary, or not the right time? That's how the prison works. You keep handing yourself excuses, and they keep tightening around your life until you can't even move anymore. Let me ask you something. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life locked inside a cell you created? Because that's what's happening right now. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall that separates you from your goals. And you're the one stacking them day after day, telling yourself stories, convincing yourself it's out of your control. That's the lie. That's the trap. You want to know the truth. Excuses are easy. That's why most people live in them. It's easy to say you don't have time. It's easy to say you're tired. It's easy to say you'll do it tomorrow. It's easy to blame your past, your parents, your circumstances. That's the easy life. That's the coward's life. The hard life, the real life, is when you strip those excuses away and face the reality that you're the one holding the key to your prison. But here's the thing. Most people don't want that responsibility, because if you admit you're the one holding the key, then you have no one left to blame. I know it's brutal to hear, but you need to hear it. The reason you're not where you want to be isn't because of someone else. It's because of you. It's because of the excuses you keep allowing to dictate your actions. Excuses don't just hold you back for a day. They multiply. One skipped workout becomes a week, then a month. One, I'll do it later, becomes a habit, then a lifestyle. Before you know it, years have passed, and you're still stuck in the same damn place, wondering what happened to all your dreams. Look, I've been there. I know what it's like to live in that prison. I know what it's like to have excuses run your life. But I also know what happens when you kill those excuses, when you stop feeding them and start facing the truth. You realize that you're capable of so much more than you ever believed. The walls crumble. The chains fall off. You step out of the prison and into the life you were meant to live. Fear is the loudest voice in your head, and it never shuts up. It tells you that you're not ready, that you're not strong enough, that you'll fail if you even try. It tells you to stay where you are, to play it safe, to never step outside the walls of comfort. But let me tell you something right now, fear is a liar. It's not true. It's not reality. It's smoke. It's an illusion. It's a shadow that looks big in the dark, but disappears the second you shine light on it. Most people spend their entire lives listening to fear like it's their master. They let it dictate every decision, every move, every choice. They dream about a different life. They picture themselves breaking free. But the moment they start moving forward, fear whispers in their ear, don't do it. You'll get hurt. You'll fail. People will laugh at you. And what do? They obey. They stop. They sit back down in the cage and call it safety. They tell themselves it's smart, it's practical, it's realistic. But it's not. It's just fear lying to them over and over again until they believe it's true. Think about all the times in your life when fear stopped you. The chances you didn't take, the opportunities you passed up, the risks you avoided. You didn't say no because you truly didn't want it. You said no because fear convinced you that you couldn't handle it. And then what happened? Regret. Regret is the debt you pay when you let fear control you. That voice that says, what if I had tried, will haunt you until your last breath. Fear doesn't come from the outside. It's not the world that's telling you you can't. It's you. It's your mind, your imagination, your weakness creating monsters that don't exist. You see failure in your head, you see pain, you see humiliation, and you let those images paralyze you. But here's the truth, none of it is real until you give it power. Fear only becomes real when you bow down to it. You want to know how fear really works. It shows up right before you're about to grow. It shows up right before the breakthrough, right before the big move, right before the change. Fear is a test. It's the gatekeeper standing between the life you have and the life you want. And most people, they see that gate, they see that guard, and they turn around. They'd rather go back to what's safe, what's easy, what's comfortable. But the few who walk through that fear, the few who step into it despite the voice screaming in their head, those are the ones who find out the truth. On the other side of fear, there's freedom. On the other side of fear, there's strength. On the other side of fear, there's the person you were supposed to become. I don't care what it is you're afraid of. Failure, judgment, rejection, pain. It's all the same thing. It's fear lying to you, selling you a cheap story to keep you weak. And if you keep buying that story, you'll stay broke in life. You'll stay stuck, empty, wondering why nothing ever changes. That's the cost of believing fear. It steals your future before you ever get the chance to fight for it. You think courage means not being afraid. Wrong. Courage means feeling that fear, hearing that voice, and moving anyway. Courage is action in the presence of fear. And here's the reality, the more you run toward fear, the weaker it gets. The more you run from fear, the stronger it gets. Every time you let fear stop you, it grows. Every time you face it, it shrinks. That's the game. That's how you win. Fear is going to keep talking. It's never going to leave you completely. But you get to decide if it's going to control you. You get to decide if you're going to live in chains or if you're going to break through and see the truth for yourself. You've been listening to fear for too long, giving it power, letting it dictate the story of your life. It's time to turn the volume down. It's time to see it for what it is, a liar. Fear told you that you're not good enough. Fear told you that you'll never make it. Fear tells you that you're stuck where you are. But ask yourself, how much of that is actually real? How many times did you step up, face the fear, and realize it wasn't even close to what you imagined? That's the proof. That's the evidence. Fear was lying to you then, and it's lying to you now. The only way to know the truth is to stop listening and start moving. You want to know why most people never break through? Why do they stay stuck behind walls, locked behind barriers they can't seem to overcome? It's because they're waiting for motivation. They're waiting to feel like it. They think one day they'll wake up inspired, full of energy, ready to go to war. But that day never comes. You don't rise when you feel like it. You rise because you're disciplined enough to do it no matter how you feel. Discipline is the hammer that smashes through walls. Discipline is the force that takes down every barrier standing in your way. Motivation is a liar. It shows up some days, disappears the next. You can't build a life on that. You can't build greatness on something so inconsistent. But discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, sick, broken, or uninspired. Discipline demands action. It demands you show up no matter what. That's why discipline is the only thing strong enough to break barriers, because it keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to quit. Think about the walls in your life right now. The weight you can't lose. The business you can't start. the habits you can't change, the goals you keep pushing back. Every one of those walls is waiting to see if you'll bring discipline or if you'll hide behind excuses. Comfort will never break those walls. Waiting for the right time will never break those walls. Hoping for inspiration will never break those walls. The only thing that will be discipline, the daily grind, the repetition, the consistent action when nobody is watching and nobody cares. You see, discipline isn't glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not Instagram highlight reels and motivational quotes. Discipline is waking up at 4 a.m. when your body begs you to sleep. Discipline is running in the rain, in the cold, in the heat, when no one's there to cheer you on. Discipline is saying no to comfort and yes to the grind every single day. That's what cracks barriers. That's what moves you forward inch by inch until the wall finally falls. People think discipline is punishment. They think it's suffering, restriction, sacrifice. But the truth is discipline is freedom. Discipline is the key that unlocks every door. You want freedom from being broke. Discipline with your money. You want freedom from being out of shape. Discipline with your training. You want freedom from wasting your life. Discipline with your time. Without discipline, you stay trapped. With discipline, you break through. The reason so many people never break barriers is because they quit when it gets hard. They train for a week, maybe a month, then stop because results don't come fast enough. They want instant change, instant progress, instant gratification. But barriers don't fall for the impatient. They fall for the relentless. They fall for the discipline. The ones who keep showing up, keep hammering, keep grinding no matter how long it takes. That's how you win. That's how you break through. Look at anyone who has achieved something great. Anyone who has shattered limits. Anyone who has done the impossible. It wasn't motivation that got them there. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was discipline. The ability to do what needed to be done day after day, year after year, when nobody else believed, when nobody else cared, when nobody else was watching. That's the power. That's the difference. Your barriers are not stronger than yours. They only look that way because you keep hitting them with half effort, with weak consistency, with excuses. But when you bring discipline, when you attack day after day without stopping, that wall doesn't stand a chance. It will break. It has to. That's the law of discipline. Consistent force always cracks resistance. You have to stop negotiating with yourself. You have to stop waiting for the right conditions, the perfect time, the feeling of motivation. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't wait. Discipline acts. You want to be different. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Push yourself. Train yourself. Break yourself down and build yourself up stronger through discipline. Every barrier in your life is daring you to bring discipline. It's daring you to show up when it's hard, when it's ugly, when it's uncomfortable. And most people will fold. Most people will turn back and say, it's too hard. But if you want to break through, if you want to see what's on the other side, there is only one way: discipline. You keep blaming the world for where you are. You point your finger at other people, at circumstances, at bad luck, at everything outside yourself. But the truth is harsh and it cuts deep. You are the problem. The only enemy standing between you and the life you want is the one you see in the mirror every morning. That reflection, that person staring back at you, is both your biggest threat and your only hope. We live in a culture where it's easy to shift blame. You didn't succeed because your parents didn't support you. You didn't get the job because someone else was favored. You didn't hit your goals because life is unfair. But listen, life has always been unfair. Life has always been brutal. The difference between those who break through and those who stay stuck isn't the circumstances they face. It's whether they confront themselves or keep running from the truth. And the truth is, you are your own enemy. Think about the voice in your head, the one that says, I'm too tired, I'm too broken, I'll do it tomorrow, I'm not good enough. That voice is not the world. That voice is not your enemy out there. That voice is you. And that voice has been winning the fight every damn day because you keep letting it. Every time you obey that voice, you lose. Every time you give in, you shrink. Every time you bow down to it, you kill a piece of yourself. The enemy isn't the pain. The enemy isn't the challenge. The enemy isn't the people who doubt you. The enemy is your weakness, your excuses, your lack of discipline. The enemy is the part of you that wants to stay comfortable, that wants to hide, that wants to avoid the grind. And if you don't confront that part, if you don't wage war on that version of yourself, you'll never break free. I've seen people with nothing, no money, no support, no connections, rise and conquer because they faced themselves head on. And I've seen people with every advantage fail miserably because they refuse to face their own weakness. You can have everything and still lose if you're your own enemy. And you can have nothing and still win if you defeat the version of yourself that keeps holding you back. That's the difference. You keep thinking the fight is outside. You think the enemy is life, people, the system, the competition. But the hardest battles you'll ever fight are inside your own head. When the alarm clock rings at 5 a.m., it's you versus you. When it's time to push harder, go longer, sacrifice more, it's you versus you. Nobody else is stopping you. Nobody else is standing in your way. The barriers you face are built by your own fear, your own laziness, your own lack of belief. That's the enemy. And here's the brutal part. You can't run from it. You can distract yourself, blame others, numb yourself with entertainment. But at the end of the day, when it's quiet and it's just you and your thoughts, you know the truth. You know it's you. You can't escape that. You can't lie to yourself forever. The mirror always tells the truth. And every day you look at it, you're either staring at the person who's winning the war against themselves or the person who surrendered without even fighting. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep playing the victim, keep blaming the world, keep letting yourself off the hook? Or are you going to step up and declare war on the weak version of yourself that's been running the show for too long? Because until you do, nothing changes. You'll stay stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same excuses, living the same small life, while the stronger version of you, the one you were born to be, dies in silence. That's the real fight. It's not about beating the competition. It's not about proving the world wrong. It's about proving yourself wrong. It's about shutting down that weak voice, that enemy within, and replacing it with strength, discipline, and unbreakable will. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, no more. Not today. I'm taking control. Because the only enemy that can destroy you is you. And the only person who can save you is the same damn person. You've been chained by excuses, paralyzed by fear, soft without discipline, and blind to the truth that your only enemy is you. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're not where you want to be. But you don't have to stay there. You've got the key in your hand. You've got the power to break every excuse, run straight through fear, hammer barriers down with discipline, and face the enemy in the mirror head on. The question is simple. Will you finally rise up and do it? Or will you keep hiding behind lies?